While the losses of the Russian army in the conflicts between Ukraine and Russia are reaching gigantic proportions every day, soldiers who desert the positions and desert from the army are added to the losses on the front. So, why are Russian soldiers constantly deserting? What measures does the Russian army take against this situation? And what methods do prospective Russian soldiers use to circumvent these measures? Recent reports in the Wall Street Journal and earlier by the Russian independent news agency Mediazona indicate that more than 50,000 Russian soldiers have deserted or refused orders to fight. There are also more than 10,000 criminal cases related to such accusations. In light of the latest desertion developments and clashes in the Ukrainian war, we will shed light behind the scenes of Russian soldiers' refusal to fight and desertion. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and like to stay up to date with our content. On Thursday, the Ukrainian army reported that in the Kharkiv direction, it had observed cases of desertion among Russian troops due to loss of personnel. Heavy fighting is currently ongoing in and around Vovchansk, 3 miles from the border and 46 miles from Kharkiv, and near Liptsy, 6 miles from the border and 12 miles from Kharkiv. Russia has carried out 40 kamikaze drone strikes and 2 airstrikes using 5 gliding bombs in the direction of Kharkiv. About 2 battalions of 1,500 Russian troops fired 394 times at Ukrainian Defense Forces positions. According to officials, the Russian military lost 73 soldiers in this attempt in the direction of Kharkiv. They also lost 66 pieces of weapons and military equipment, including 1 armored combat vehicle, 1 multiple rocket launcher, 3 artillery systems, 8 vehicles, 1 special equipment, 52 unmanned aerial vehicles, 38 personnel shelters, 2 ammunition storage areas, and 2 UAV launch sites. After the Russian Army's Vanguard Battalion lost 73 soldiers and serious armored equipment, the Russian battalions were forced to retreat, but more than 100 troops reportedly deserted from the front line. The Kharkiv Forces Group also reported that the Russian Army's frontline positions near Hlybok are experiencing shortages of water and supplies. A similar incident took place last week. Near Konstantinovka in the Donetsk region, the Russian army launched an offensive from several sides at once, attacking the positions of Ukrainian defenders with more than 24 pieces of equipment and a large number of manpower. Ukrainian artillery, UAVs, anti-tank systems, and Nikolaev paratroopers reacted strongly, burning all 4 Russian tanks and 3 of 17 armored infantry vehicles. 24 Russian soldiers were taken out of action during the fighting, while 200 Russian soldiers fled the battlefield. After the Kremlin declared partial mobilization in September 2022, the number of cases for unauthorized absence increased significantly. In 2024, this increase is said to be unprecedented. Russia's independent news source Astra claims that a Russian commander called Yevgeny Zarubin allegedly left his troops in the town of Vovchansk in northeastern Ukraine without permission and is now sought for. New recruits are left on the front lines endlessly without time limit for military service. Human rights groups and organizations helping troops flee claim that about 50,000 of them have defected or defied orders to fight, desiring a break. Lawyers defending them believe the figure is much higher, since many have been persuaded to return silently under promises of compassionate treatment or threats to their Russian relatives. Russia adopted new laws in 2022, tightening the penalties for disobedience and desertion. These include forfeiture of property belonging to fleeing troops and up to 15-year prison terms. Court records seen by the Journal and collated by Mediazona, a news site founded by Russian exiles with an emphasis on the nation's criminal justice system, show more than 10,000 criminal proceedings initiated on such allegations. Russia's independent news site Mediazona said in mid-June 2024 that more than 10,000 Russian soldiers had been accused with supposedly abandoning service since February 2022. Most of these charges center on their leaving their flats without permission. 339 soldiers also come under charges of desertion. Apparently, March alone accounted for around 700 fines for illegal absence throughout this period. Court press releases state that hundreds have been tried and many more remain under custody in Russian prisons waiting for trial. For numerous illegal absences, a court condemned a soldier to 10 years in May. Some have much worse destinies. Furthermore, a military spokesman from Ukraine said that Russia sent troops without combat experience to back up the operation in northern Ukraine. Vitaly Sarantsev, spokesman for the Kharkiv Operational Strategic Forces Group, reportedly told a Ukrainian news program that Russia is fast increasing its army with personnel who are ethically unsuitable for duty. Based on most recent data, the troops arriving for the offensive operations in Vovchansk got insufficient training, said spokesman Vitaly Sarantsev. These guys have never gone to combat, he said. Over the summer, Ukraine and Russia have been battling for dominance of Vovchansk, 3 kilometers from the border in Kharkiv region. On Thursday, Sarantsev informed reporters that the newly arriving Russian soldiers in Vovchansk lacked experience. Sarantsev said furthermore that, based on what we know, these recently hired workers are mobilization resources with Russian training. Whether they are ambassadors from other countries or past inmates is unknown. The Russians are attracting people who are not morally ready to carry out any mission, spokesman Vitaly Sarantsev said. That is, they create a mobilization resource, ready them rapidly, or send them to fight under false pretenses, compulsion, or promises of money gains. People realize they have been duped, though, and refuse to go to war, he said. Ukraine's GUR military intelligence agency provided vital information on a rise in desertions among troops stationed in the Southern Military District, or Southwest Russia, in late April 2024. The GUR estimates that during this period, about 18,000 Russian troops unlawfully left their fighting formations in conflict areas. Russia adopted aggressive strategies throughout the conflict to maintain strong numbers in face of so many deaths. It froze criminal trials for those eager to serve and promised early release to offenders, emptying prisons. It gave Russians incentives to register, including rising recruitment bonuses in some areas, and subsidized housing and entry to elite universities for servicemen families. It accelerated petitions for citizenship among foreigners in honor of military service. Based on Ukrainian estimates, Russia, which boasts 3 times the population of Ukraine, has taken similar actions to retain over 500,000 troops in and around the nation. UK and Ukrainian intelligence claims that Russia is currently recruiting at least 25,000 troops monthly, but only a small fraction have combat experience. But Russia's reinforcing drive goes beyond mere rewards. Now stretching worldwide, it has also strengthened a drive to punish deserters and capture those who refuse to fight. The Russians decide whether to arrest or reallocate deserters they find. Long before military service starts, the punishing mindset starts. Army summons issued online automatically forbids recipients from visiting foreign countries. Lawyers defending Russian troops in court claim that conscripts are regularly forced to sign contracts by commanders who acquire recruitment targets from their Moscow superiors. So, what do you think about this issue? Please tell us what you think in the comments. Please